Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today I'm going to be doing my October TBR. So most of these books are hopefully going to be spooky or creepy books. I'm making this TBR have lots of thrillers or like horror books, but I also will be choosing a book from my TBR jar again because I have been neglecting the TBR jar for quite a while. I have been enjoying my reading though, I will say that. So anyways, I'm going to choose that book first and then I'll get into the rest of my TBR. And yeah, I'm really hoping that this month is a month full of spooky reads as we are in the spooky season. So my first pick will be from here. These are all books that were sent to me for my blog. So let's just dive right in and see what we get. And it is Alfred, the Boy Who Would Be King. I don't think this is going to be a thriller book, but I guess I'll have one book or maybe two on my TBR that aren't thrillers. So I'm going to go get this. I'll be right back. So here's the book, Alfred, the Boy Who Would Be King by Ron Smorinsky, I think is how you say that. I actually love this cover art. Like, look how cool that looks. I'm pretty excited to read this book. I feel like it's a fantasy middle grade, but I'm going to read the back so that we can figure out what it is about together. Alfred loves to play a fantasy computer game about building a kingdom and creating knights. He lives with his mysterious mother who works as a seamstress at a laundromat and doesn't care about modern things. Alfred spends his time playing his fantasy game and studying medieval life, from how they farmed to what advancements they used in battle. One day he gets his mother to watch him play his game, where knights fight goblins. She becomes so scared she utters his father's strange name. Alfred realizes his mother is hiding who his father was, or maybe who they are. Upon Alfred saying the name, a mysterious old man appears, one who happens to be a helpless wizard with no memory. And yet the amnesiac wizard manages to transport Alfred to a fantasy world where a kingdom was destroyed and the peasants live in fear. Each year at harvest, goblins attack. Can a boy who plays computer games and study medieval times do anything to help them? Is Alfred ready to be the boy who would be king? So yeah, that's definitely a fantasy middle grade. Sounds pretty interesting. I like that it's tying in video games. That's really fun. But yeah, I think I'm probably going to fly through this. I looked and it's like very large font. So it doesn't look that large in the camera, but like it is. It's large text in here. So I think this will be very easy to get through. It's about 350-ish pages, which is like a larger book for me because I like 300 or less page books. I just like small books. I feel more accomplished when I get through them. But yeah, I'm excited to read this one and we'll have to see what I think about it. The next book I'm going to be reading is actually from my NetGalley TBR because I got a lot of books on there too. So this one is an ARC, although it came out in April of 2021. So it's an old ARC. Are we surprised? Probably not. Anyways, this is House of Holo by Crystal Sutherland. And just by looking at the cover of this book, like I'm already creeped out and I think it sounds really cool. I'm going to read the synopsis because I feel like it gives a better synopsis to you guys than what I could like try and formulate. So it says, Iris Holo and her two older sisters are unquestionably strange. Ever since they disappeared on a suburban street in Scotland as children only to return a month later with no memory of what happened to them, odd, eerie occurrences seem to follow in their wake. And they're changing. First, their hair turned white. Then their blue eyes slowly turned black. They have insatiable appetites, yet never gain weight. People find them disturbingly intoxicating, unbearably beautiful, and inexplicably dangerous. Okay, pause. I know I still have a little bit more of the synopsis, but like this sounds like vampires. I'm just calling it now. We'll see in the wrap up if I was right. But now, 10 years later, 17-year-old Iris Holo is doing all she can to fit in and graduate high school on time. Something her two famously glamorous, globe-trotting older sisters, Gray and Vivi, never managed to do. But when Gray goes missing without a trace, leaving behind bizarre clues as to what might have happened, Iris and Vivi are left to trace her last few days. They aren't the only ones looking for her, though. As they brush against the supernatural, they realize that the story they've been told about their past is unraveling, and the world that returned them unseemingly unharmed 10 years ago might just be calling them home. Okay, so this book sounds really good. Like I'm pretty invested and I want to know what's going to happen. It says that it's told as like a fairy tale-esque story. So that's another thing drawing me in because I love fairy tales or like retellings of fairy tales. I think they're a lot of fun and I like seeing them reimagined in a new way. But yeah, I think this is going to be really like creepy, and that's exactly what I'm looking for this month. So that's perfect. I will also get to knock another book off my NetGalley TBR, so that will feel good because it's getting a little bit outrageous, and yeah, I really got to get that under control. The next book on my list is Face of Evil by George Morris Dath. And I really like this author. I did an author interview with them a while back, and they actually sent me their other book, A Tale of Six, which is like a novella, and it was a collection of short stories told with like one overlying story. That one was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was super creepy, and it gave me like Black Mirror vibes, which I was so down for because I love that show. And now this is his book that came out, and I'm really excited to dive into this one. So this one follows a main character named Lydia, and she's looking to write a book about evil. So what she does is she goes to an asylum and is starts interviewing one of the serial killers in this asylum. And so she is digging into his story and like how he got there and speaking to the serial killer. But like the more that she digs into it, she finds out that there's another bigger plot at play in the background. And so now she is kind of like trying to figure out where to go from there. And I love the tagline of the book. It says, if you play games with a killer, you can't afford to lose. And then the last part of the synopsis says, the problem playing with killers is that they never play nice. So I think this is going to be like such a fun psychological thriller. And I know George. I know he likes American Horror Story and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm going to get those kind of vibes when I read this book. And yeah, I'm really excited to just read this so I can talk to him about what I thought about his book. And I think it's going to really be thrilling and a lot of fun. Then, of course, we can't have a creepy month without some creepy clowns. So I'm going to read Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesar. And this one is about a small town where kids are kind of like revolting, having parties, doing whatever they want, and like trashing old factories and things like that. And then obviously the older town folk or like senior citizens are not like approving of all the young folk and what they're doing. And so like they're kind of combating against each other and being upset in like a township kind of way, if that makes sense. But anyways, then enters a killer clown that starts going on a serial killing rampage throughout this town, murdering people. And so what's not to like about that synopsis? I want to dive into a book with a killer clown. Why not? Clowns are already creepy as is. So having a murderous one, yeah, I think that's going to be a really creepy plot. I think I'm going to be very pulled into it and sitting there like wanting to read more, but also be creeped out to read more. And that's a good feeling. I like that. I think it's going to be really fun. I also just love how this cover is giving me definitely like dark 80s vibes. So yeah, I'm really intrigued to read this one and I'm excited to see where it takes me. The next book I have on my list, and it's another like red covered book. So like, I don't know if I just went with a vibe, but like, we're just going to go with that. And that is Ragged Lake by Ron Corbett. This book was actually sent to me by a small publishing press in Toronto called ECW Press. So thank you for sending me this book. They sent it to me a very long time ago, but like I'm finally getting to it. I told them I would. It just took me a long time. So here I am. This is about a detective that has to go to this like desolate like winter landscape because somebody in this small town finds an isolated cabin and discovers a murdered family in there. And so this detective has to go there to investigate, find out what happened to this family. But as they are doing their investigation, they discover that there is something bigger happening at play. But now they are left in a life and death situation where they need to try and stay alive, as well as protect the few innocent people that are still left in this area. So I think that sounds really cool. I love any books that are like atmospheric with like a wintry landscape in like an isolated place. I also really love thrillers where it's like on an isolated island or things like that. If anybody really wants a good show to watch, you should check out Harper's Island. It's a 1-season show, murder mystery set on an island in Vancouver. And oh my God, it was so good. I loved it. I bought it on DVD and I've watched that season like multiple times over and over again because it was so good. So I think this is going to have like kind of similar vibes to something like that. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm really excited to read it and I'm excited to share my thoughts with you guys. And then the last book I have on my list is called Escape the War. And this is by Priyanka Nambiar, I think is how you say that. So this book was actually sent to me by Mackenzie Press. And they're a small press company that deal with teen authors. So this is actually written by a teen author. And that really intrigued me. I'm very excited to see like what their writing style is like. But yeah, it's a pretty small book. It's sci-fi, so that also pulled me in. So this is what the synopsis says. Ivy Judenson is so tired of her life. With a newly broken friendship, a plummeting GPA, and mean girls seemingly around every corner, freshman year is pretty much a bust. Her only refuge these days is playing Escape the War on her PC. So when Ivy finds an in-game purchase that claims to let her live in the game, she clicks. What she doesn't expect is to get literally sucked into the game, trapped as a playable character. In the game, it's an extremely dangerous war-torn shooter, and if Ivy is going to get out, she'll first have to survive. So that sounds really fun. Like, I'm definitely going to pick this up, and I think I'm going to enjoy it, honestly. I'm really excited to just like support teen authors too. I think that's really cool that they are getting into their writing very early on, and I'm excited to see that passion for creative writing come through in this book. So I will keep you guys updated on what I think about it. And those are all the books I chose for this month. So I only have 6 on my list, and I think that 6 is a very manageable number for me because I tried to do 7 in September and I didn't quite make it to 7. I mean, there's still a little bit left of September, so I could, but I don't think I'm going to make it. 6 seems like my good number, so we'll leave it at that and we'll see how it goes. Let me know if you have read any of these books and what you thought of them, or let me know what you were excited to read in October. I'm always open to learning about new creepy thrillers or just creepy books in general, so definitely put those down in the comments so I can look them up myself. And now for our independent bookstore shout out. Okay guys, today's independent bookstore is from Munro's Books, and that is in Victoria, British Columbia. So first of all, this is an actual image from their store website, and like how beautiful is that? It looks like a friggin' museum. I think that's awesome. Anyway, so they have their usual like reels on the front where you can find new stuff. Let's just scroll through here and see if we recognize any of this. Oh, I know that one. I feel like that's been out for a while. Ooh, I've heard this one is really good. Yeah, and you can go through and see all the other different reels that they have. They also do puzzles, so that is very cool. Ooh, that's actually a really pretty puzzle right there. Let's take a look at about their store. So this is their store. Yeah, it looks so pretty. Like that's the outside. This looks like a museum and it's beautiful. I would definitely go check out this bookstore if you're close to it because it looks amazing. So that's the staff. They look like they're very helpful and friendly. Let's see what else they have. They have puzzles and gifts. Let's go to puzzles. So many puzzles. Oh my goodness. Marcus would love this. Holiday puzzles. I love that. Oh, so exciting. Is that all cats? Oh my goodness. Look at all these cats. That'd be amazing. So anyways, this is munrobooks.com. Definitely go check them out online or in person if you're in BC. If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and a Coffee page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as a link to buy my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I post new videos. I post my videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And until next time, keep on reading.